true wetland, it's saturated for a certain period during the growing season in most years to really strongly affect the plant community, such that only plants that are adapted to those conditions of saturated soils can survive. Wetlands definitely provide a lot of habitat for a lot of life. The way wetlands work is they hold water kind of like a sponge, and so that the water absorbs into them and then is released slowly. That's good for flooding. You can also say that they are kind of like a filter, because as it goes through that, any nutrients, whatever, and pollutants that were in the water before it got to the wetland are filtered by the wetland. It gives us better drinking water downstream, it gives us better fishing downstream, it prevents flooding downstream. The glaciers created the ideal topography for lots of wetlands. The glaciers leaving a lot of uneven ground, which left these pockets, these holes that wouldn't drain out. The plant matter and other organic matter accumulates in the bottom, builds up, until you get peat forming in that, and then it builds up to that surface, and then once that surface is saturated, then you start getting things like bogs. The problem with wetland is you can't develop on them, and you can't grow corn on them, you can't do anything industrial on them generally, and we continue to want to do more and more industrial activities. The threats to wetlands are always going to be present. The benefits of wetlands are not realized by the people who stand to benefit from draining the wetland. Any kind of wetland restoration is where you take a wetland that has been drained, a farm field where farmers have put in a ditch or drain tile system, and you remove or them not work anymore, so that the water stays on that land. That way you're restoring the water level to the existing soil that may have been degraded by the years of farming, but at least they were historically wetland. They historically had probably a lot of organic matter and peat there. That peat will then again begin to accumulate, hopefully, or at least it'll stop degrading, decomposing. The nice thing about a company like M&L is that we're able to do the drain tile removal, we're able to build the berms, we're able to build the outlets, we're able to then prepare the site for seeding, go out there and reseed the whole site with our seed, often, if we need to, locally harvested, and then we can continue on the site, first and foremost, to get the vegetation, native vegetation established, so it's diverse and dominated by natives, and then control the invasive species, and then do whatever other management is needed, like prescribed burning to keep out the woody species, the trees and shrubs, and to keep things diverse. And then you'll start seeing the wetland plants come back. True success then is, does all the wildlife come back, and the diversity that you would hope would be in a natural wetland, and the wildlife and all that. That's where you start looking at, tens of hundreds of years to really get it back to what it was. Everyone experiences the benefit of the wetland a little bit.